Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 3, part 2 of Family and Relationships. I'm here with Jasmine and I'm Q. I can't wait to talk to you guys today.
And this is the
Crabtree Sisters Unfiltered Podcast.
That's what I gotta deal with. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit into our bond and our relationship and in general, like. Did I hit my mic?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Ooh, my wrist hurt when it get cold.
How do you select new friends?
Huh?
Why black people always talking about acting up when it's cold, when it rains?
Okay, so we're just gonna get right into the nitty gritty. You should hear this chair. Can I hear this chair? Okay.
You hear my shoulder? Okay.
So how do we meet? No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm gonna start, and I'm just gonna give y'all a rundown from my perspective of our relationship as sisters. Okay. And yeah, let's do that. So me and her have been knowing each other since the womb for me, but I didn't know her when she was in the womb. You know what I mean? So growing up, we grew up in the same household with one mom, and she had a boyfriend. Okay, I'm telling her business. His name was Bobby Boucher. No.
Bro said Bobby Boucher. We didn't Skype that though.
Needle. You remember that part of the movie? Okay. I do. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, we grew up with our mom, and what am I talking about? Oh, so I'm just gonna give you guys a rundown of how me and my sister grew up. So we had fun. Like, we were super close. We still are, but we were like this close. Like, I would follow behind her everywhere. Like, if I could, she had a boyfriend in high school, I would be at his house with her, miserable because I was bored, but happy because I wasn't at home. I was with my sister. You know, I just wanted to be with her everywhere she went. I wanted to be in her skin. Like, in the skin. You should have a skin pocket.
I like that she was like that because I love that she was there.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun growing up, but like, I don't want to get into everything. But just long story short, talking about like a little bit about our dynamic growing up in our family. Background is that my mom was a different type of mom. Like, we love her to this day. We love her, and we know that she did the best she could with us. However, she did not like when I hung out with Q, because she would be like, "What are you doing?" Because I grew up I'm the youngest. Under my mom, so I was under her a lot too. Like, I would go play bingo with my mom. This was all like not stuff that I really wanted to do, but I would just do it because I wanted to be around my mom, if that makes sense. And so when I got a little bit older, like middle school, maybe high school, I started hanging out with Q way more, following her around because I'm coming into who I want to be, and I actually look up to her still to this day. She's very inspiring, but she was just like a superhero to me, for real. Y'all, one thing that really devastated me is when she was like, "I'm going to the Navy. I'm gonna go to the Navy." And I was like, and I'm doing this because I was annoyed at the time. I was like, huh? What that mean? I cried my eyes out, but I mean, I eventually got over it because I was in high school. You know, you got friends, so I had a group of friends that I would hang around, and we were really close knit. But like, there's nothing like that sister bond or that sister relationship. I couldn't talk to her, y'all. I couldn't barely see her. I really didn't see her. Maybe on special occasions.
For years.
And I remember one time we went to Chicago because she was graduating, and it was so fun. But I barely got to see her because she, again, is still in the Navy and she has certain places to be. So it's just like, coming from that, growing up, being stuck at the hip with her, then she leaves to the Navy, and now I'm coming into my own, which I think, well, I know now that it all happened for a reason, for me to grow into who.
Sorry, break. Hey, what's up? Who found it? Social security card?
She walking away like she don't got her mic on.
Okay, so you don't need me? No. Okay, love you. Bye. Sorry, they needed something. They're still in Dallas. All right. So you were saying how?
So basically, I was saying how after high school, it's time for me to go to college and do my own thing. And I really am grateful for our separation just because we got to experience life completely different ways. And just come into our own. And so now, like, talking about how me and you got back together is she moved back to Dallas before I did. I was in San Antonio. And I would still come out here a lot. And she actually came to visit me a few times out there. And we would go travel. We would go to California together sometimes. Like, we just had a whole thing going. But one thing I will say is our bond never left. Like, it might have shifted because of we became different people.
Yeah.
But I feel like we put in that work to get to know who each other was now today. And I really appreciated that about her. Like,
got to know each other.
Got to know each other again. And one of my favorite things about her is that she was intentional. When she talked to me, she didn't talk to me like I was a little girl. Like, I say that because my older sisters and, other family members would treat me like I was still that little girl, like treat me like I still couldn't do certain things. And part of that was because I was still trying to portray this perfect image when there's no such thing. Going back to, like I said, about the golden child, feeling like you have to do everything right. You can't make mistakes. And so she was the one person who treated me differently, who actually respected who I was as a person and got to know me and understand me. Even if she didn't agree with what I was doing, it was still, I love that connection, like that deep it's like a deep rooted connection that grew and blossomed.
Makes sense. We got same mama, same daddy, so.
I mean, yeah, but
there
are sisters and brothers and people who don't get along at all, who don't talk,
That's
who
true.
don't put the work in for their relationships. For sure.
Very true.
For sure. I don't know where I was going with that, but I just wanted to tell y'all about my favorite thing about her and how.
I think you're talking about how our dynamic.
Yeah, like how I feel about my sister.
Oh, okay. You want me to go next? So I feel like I didn't even realize. It's funny. I was an adult when I realized that, and Jazz expressed this to me, how sad she was when I left. And I was sad when all of my sisters left. My two older sisters left for college. Even though I didn't see them much, it's still saddening because they're going off and venturing off and no longer children, and they're going into adulthood, and you may not see them again, or you may not see them for a few years. And it was very sad. I cried like maybe a couple tears when they left the house, both of them. And I didn't even realize the effect that me leaving would have on my little sister. It never occurred to me. And so when she expressed that she was crying, I was like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't anybody tell me that she was crying? Because I probably would have tried to fix it or call. Like, I would have made a way and tried harder, but I was so busy with my own life that I didn't even have time to think about anybody else's. Mm-hmm. And that's just so not, I want to say sweet because that's how close we were, but also very sad for her because she was the only person left. And I know how the emotional state of our home was. So, it's kind of hard to try to deal with that on your own, especially when you're a teenager. But I loved growing up with Jazz. I feel like we laughed all the time. We did a lot of crazy stuff. Like, if she wasn't doing something or if she didn't have a plan, like, she was really smart, even at a young age, then I had a plan and we were just kind of like doing, like, it was so funny. We were outside all times of the night, very unsupervised. I love that childhood though, like being outside, playing, neighborhood kids, cousins, and I feel like we were always in a pair. Like, her and I were just always together. And it's probably because we were the two youngest from my mom, but we were always together. I feel like Jazz blossomed into a beautiful person. I had to relearn who she was as a person or as an adult, because she is still the same. Her inner child is still there, but then I had to learn how she coped with the world, what her ambitions were, her dreams, aspirations, what she wanted in love, like who she'd been dating, who'd she date while I was gone. And I learned some interesting stories there. I remember she was telling me how she avoided a crazy guy that she almost ended up dating long term, and I was so grateful that she didn't have to go through dating a crazy person. That something in her was like, don't do it, because I would have hated for her to repeat any cycle that I have repeated, or my mom or sisters have repeated. Yeah. But I feel like she turned out great. Like, she turned out to be the baby. Like, she turned out really great. She's not. I don't feel like she's spoiled. I feel like she is very much a. She's like a guiding light a little bit because she gets to see like all of her sisters grow up and then also grow up herself with a different perspective. So I feel like I learned a lot from her. Even when we were younger, I learned a lot from you. And it's just, I don't know, being able to just talk freely. Like I say a lot of free things, but I don't give that privilege to everybody.
Yeah.
Probably you and my husband and my bestie. That's it.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, being able to talk freely is so good. It feels so good. You just feel free. You feel
You also
like,
feel safe.
yeah.
That
It's
you
so hard.
feel you feel really safe. Because you have family members you talk to, and the moment you tell them something vulnerable about yourself, they tell everybody, and you're like, that was not for everybody.
Yeah. Let's not even start. But I went through so much as a kid that probably other people would look at like, girl, you was okay, you was dramatic. But in reality, it actually affected me in every way of things I went through. But I say that to say it's just something that really sticks with you because it's like, I didn't feel protected. I told you something in confidence and I didn't feel protected. Just to give you a little bit of backstory of like our relationship with other people in our family, like our family jokes a lot. And it's kind of hard when you have a family that you come from a family of jokesters and goofy people. It's kind of hard to actually say how you really feel and be serious in those moments because it's like, oh, you just cry baby, or they just kind of brush it off. They don't really take it serious. So yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like our family dynamic was fun, but you also have to look at both sides. Just look at. I feel like we would look at our childhood a lot as the cup half full.
Yep.
In a way, like we would just have to find the joke. We would have to find the laughter,
the joy.
Yeah,
because it's a lot. I mean, our parents went through so much for us and for themselves. My mother was a single mother. She was married before, but she didn't believe in getting married again when she got divorced. And so that pushed her into like the workforce for real. Like she was working already, but like she had to go hard. Like it was like we don't eat if she don't work, and it was just her. And we had she had family or whatever, but I mean they was all kind of going through the same thing. So it's kind of sucky that our parents had to go through that, and it trickled down, and I think that's what makes us go so hard now, even without. So you can either let the world eat you alive, like I said,
chew you
and
up, spit
you
you
get
out.
stuck in that rotating cycle of whatever, or you step out and create your own. So.
That is very true. I feel like when I was growing up, I had to get a job very early. Well, it's normal early, like 16.
Do you feel like today, as a teenager, if you had a teenager today, would you make them work?
Would I make them work? It's hard to say because I don't have kids, but my thought process for that is it depends on the child, to be honest. If I feel like my child is super lazy and don't want to work for anything, then yes, I would definitely make my kid get a job. But if I feel like they are like proactive and like wanting to like build something, I can see the creativity in them, and not to say the lazy child doesn't have creativity, but just they're acting on their creativity, then I probably wouldn't make them get a job, but I would suggest them starting their own business very young, or like a hobby, like a side trade, where they can get paid for it. But I would not force it on them, but I would just suggest it and do that. But the lazy child, I would definitely force it on them, just because you have to learn how to work. And if at a young age you don't learn how to work, you would never learn how to work as you get older, and you will be somewhere in life where you don't want to be. So what about you?
So you're saying like put in fundamental principles to always work hard no matter what you're doing.
I like the way you worded that. Yes.
Okay. So I feel that when I worked at a young age, I was not safe. I feel like people would like managers would grab my butt and like brush against me and all those stuff. I'm just like, ew, like it was so gross. So I never felt protected working at a young age, especially like in the city. We live in Dallas, and I just never liked it. And yeah, I liked having my own money and paying for stuff. A lot of times I would help my mom pay the bills or whatever, but I didn't like being out in the world so early. I knew I had it in me from when I was little. Like you can tell how a kid plays sports, how they apply themselves, how they do their homework, what they're gonna be. And I just knew I was like, I gotta go work. But then I didn't even think about like you're going out into the world. You could just be like it's crazy.
No, that was great.
The world won't be like
anyway,
yeah.
No, that's good though. I didn't think of it in that aspect. I just thought about it but it like for me, my kids will work for me. If they needed a job, I would hire them.
That makes that's safe.
Yeah. But no, I get the not feeling protected, and then getting like the working at a young age is very scary, and it's very like you never know what your kids are going through. Yeah. I guess we can move on to friendships, because we talked a lot about family, we've talked about relationships. Let's talk about friendships. Like, how do you create new friendships, or how do you select new friends?
What friends?
I don't even know. Okay, so how do I make new friends? I don't know. I tend to just be really genuine in my interest to get to know that person. I try my best to really hone in on them and see where the conversation goes. And I love when people are ambitious. I love when people are doing things that I already want to do. And I love meeting people in the same spaces that I'm in, because they'll understand why you're there in the first place. And they will literally go hard for what they love. And I like to be surrounded by people that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, conversation. Sometimes I'm awkward. I remember meeting this one girl, and she was mad cool, and she was, we were vibing or whatever, and I was like, I kind of want to text her and see if she want to go have like coffee, but I'm scared. Like, like it's a day, it's a coffee date with my friend, and I was just like, I was gonna text her and see what she says. What she could say is like, no, girl, I'm not free, and if she tries to reschedule, I'm like, I got a friend in me, okay, so I got a friend in her. And so I texted her. She's like, yeah, girl, we can go to coffee. I know a good coffee spot. And I was like, yes. And then from the coffee date, it's just like, it almost felt like when I met up with her for the second time, we were like planning our lives.
Oh, I love
and I just love friends like that. Like, and I told her, I was like, girl, I was so embarrassed to text you because I had no friends in a long time. I haven't made new friends in a long time. She was like, girl, neither. I'll be at home under the blanket. I said, I be at home under the blanket, twisting my toes together, twinkling my little toes. I said, next time we can just pick somebody's house and then we ain't got to go spend money to hang out. So I felt like people who were down to earth and real.
I like that. Yeah, I'm very similar to that. I love being home, and it's kind of hard for me to make new friends now as an adult if I'm not like out and about, because I love being home. So I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and like show my face and go meet new people. Yeah. But now I will say the way that I select friends now is like, I just listen to them when they talk, when I first meet them. Because sometimes I wouldn't listen to people. Like I would be thinking about my hair or myself, being selfish, and like, oh, am I cute? Dang, did I fart? Okay. Just random stuff in my mind. But now I've learned to be more intentional when I meet new people and to actually listen to their name, repeat it back to them, and like just basically learn who they are. And if I feel like we would mesh well, if they even if they say something that I don't necessarily agree with, I would question them on it and then just see where their mind or where their head's at, just to see why they think like that. But that doesn't mean I couldn't be their friend. It's just learning. I guess the way I select new friends is by learning them. I probe a lot of questions. I ask them a lot of questions. And I think it's easier now for me just having my own candle company, doing farmers markets, meeting new people. It's a good way to meet people, and then going to different networking events. It's definitely, I love seeing people with their own businesses and like learning what they do and how they got to where they are now, and seeing their excitement and having something to talk about is key. Oh, I love when I meet new people and they give me ideas. I love that too. That's like my favorite thing. I'd be like, dang, I didn't think of that. That's cool. Like I love when people have different mindsets too. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have friends right now.
Sometimes it be like that.
I have a lot of people that I meet and like I get to know. I don't have like a friend that I can just call up and be like, "Hey, girl, let's go to get our nails done." I call her.
Oh yeah,
I would call her, but like I don't have anybody like that right now. Like I have my friends from childhood, like Chloe. We went to school together, and we still do things here and there. But we live like an hour away from each other. We live so
We do
far
live
away.
far.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah. I don't know. I do want to continue to meet new friends because I know that how important it is to have friends and to like meet new people. I don't need a million friends, but just meeting those people at the stage that you are in your life right now I think that's cool.
Yeah,
I would agree. It's necessary. I was gonna ask you about Channing when you was talking earlier, but I forgot because you kept talking. Girl, talk a lot. Okay.
So Jasmine is a newlywed, and before we close out this episode, I wanted to talk about her journey, her newlywed journey, and how married life is treating her.
I love it. I've been knowing my husband since college, y'all. We've been together for a long time. And we had a rough patch, like the roughest of the rough patch, growing like together and learning each other. And I would never in a million years would have seen us now. Like I love it. And I'm happy. I'm very like not even just happy externally, but inside. I feel so loved. I feel so whole. Like I feel like this is it. Like this is my husband. I love this. And I feel the love from because people don't talk about it. But when you grow up without a father figure, you're searching for that love in other things or other people. And to actually have like a husband, a male figure in my life that I can genuinely say learns to like he tries so hard to understand me and love me. I love it. I love being a newlywed. He always wants to plan dates, y'all. Like he is and I feel like he's elevated in the sense of he's a new man. He's grown so much since I first met him. And I don't know what to say besides I love my man. I love my husband. He's like my best. He's literally my best friend, and he is going to always be there, like through everything. Like he's gonna have my back, and I have no doubt about that. Like I feel so, like she said earlier for marriage, it's not only about the wedding and like the fairy tale. Like you can romanticize your marriage in your wedding, but having someone who's there to protect you and someone that you feel safe with and someone who is actually going to like not like someone who is going to accept you for being you, like just let you be you. Like don't try to change you in a way. I love that.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
Now my stomach is like
but I love being married. I feel like it's a difference in just how we feel together. I feel like God has put a new blessing on us just because we are married, and that's just the thing within itself too. So yeah, it's beautiful. We 6 months married, y'all. We made 6 months on Saturday, and it's been great.
I'm happy for her.
Yeah, I love it. What about you? Talk about 11 years in December.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been married for almost 11 years, and you met your husband how long ago? 11 years ago?
No.
12 years?
No. It'll be 13 years in January. Yeah.
Okay. You met your husband 13 years ago.
Yep.
And now you have 3 kids.
Yep.
Married. And you've been through a lot with your husband, like just y'all growing together, coming from a different state. Like talk about, I guess my main question is like, talk about your husband and the green flags that you love about him, and talk about, I guess, growing with him. Like, how did you grow?
Well, Channing has always been this person where I just kind of like right off the bat, like trusted because he never gave me like any type of ill will feeling. He's very chivalrous and still to this day you know how they say keep your habits up all throughout your relationship, especially if you don't want your wife or husband to be like, what happened? Like, well, something wrong?
What I do? You mad
Yeah,
at me?
you mad? So having Channing like keep up with these after 13 years of knowing me is just very powerful for me. Growing with him is beautiful because we're not done growing yet. Growing with him is beautiful. He has this mindset of seeing things that I don't quite see for our family, but he'll be like, we should go buy a new house, and our house should have this, and our car should have this, and our kids should go to these schools. And I'm like, well, I was just gonna put them around Dallas, school in Dallas, and they was gonna be fine. But he just had those greater ambitions for our relationship, our marriage, and our family. He is also become very vocal about his feelings and his emotions. I love that for him because he hasn't always had the space to do that. So, yeah, I would say I won with that one, and he won with me.
Yeah.
So, it's good. I'm glad I met him at the time I met him, and it's solid ever since.
Yeah. I want to say too, growing up in a single family household and now being married is big. Like,
Huge.
that is a huge thing. And baby, I'm gonna work for this marriage. I'm gonna work to stay in this marriage until I die, because I feel like that is so important. Like, having a partner in your life is so important. Like, I could see the difference, the help. I don't even have kids yet, and the help that I still need right now and I get from my husband, I couldn't see me doing it by myself. I can, I'm capable. I don't want to. I'm tired of literally working so hard and hustling and bustling to the point where I'm like, I can just relax now. I can focus on being creative and being in my soft girl era. Like, I love that for me. And I love that it's a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't see this for myself when I was younger. I wanted to be married, but I didn't see this where I am today. I didn't see it. I didn't see it coming. So, yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
That's it. That was my last one.
Okay. Well, we're going to close it out now that you guys have heard a little bit about our relationship with each other, our relationship with our husbands, and just a little bit of everything. And we will see y'all in episode number 4. This is moving fast.
Yeah, it is moving pretty fast. I like it.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok and Instagram, and also subscribe, like, and comment. We love to see you guys interact with us. And just give us your thoughts, give us some of your relationship dynamics and what you've learned from relationships, and or something you learned today just from hearing from us. So, yeah.
I would also add that if you guys have questions about relationships, or if you want us to, if it's okay with you guys, we'll take some of your comments and maybe make them into topics if you'd like. So
that is a great idea. So, yes, please send us some questions that you guys want us to talk about, or if we talked about something but we didn't dig into it and you want to know more about it, let us know. You can send us an email. It'll be in our description box. We'll send you our email. But yeah, that's a good idea. I love that. Well, we'll see y'all in the next episode of the Crabtree Sisters Unfiltered Podcast. Love y'all.